Okay, good morning. I hope you enjoyed last week's exorcism. It's going to be on Facebook, the whole thing, because it's not just exorcism, it's what it takes for a person to get to that point and how you lead them by getting them to speak about their problem slowly but surely, encourage it, that dark side to emerge, and then you get it. And that's what you saw last week. It's going to be on Facebook, but the whole thing, not just exorcism, but how it comes about. Now, there may be exorcisms here, and every now and then there is, and when it's really ripe, I'm going to get it. I'm going to pluck that plum. Anyway, good morning again. This is, well, almost an advice line, but that's my radio program, Sunday Morning Conversations. I want to read something to you before I start my discussion with my audience. I do not like to lecture. I like to do a little pattern leading up to something I want to say, and that's what I'm going to do this morning. I'm going to read something to you from Tanzania. I have been communicating with people in Tanzania for 25 years, for people in positions of power, and after 25 years it became the first democratic country in Africa. For some reason, I've been talking to a lot of people and downloading all this stuff, and they're going out to the villages and things are happening out there, and they're still loading it up, and I'm still having relationships with them, and I don't need to talk to them that much. They're on their own. As you want me to come over there? You said, no, we got it. We know what to do now. I'm working with immunologists and people who understand how to deal with people. And I could tell you a whole lot of stories with that, but never mind. I don't want to be braggadocious. But damn it, I'm behind that. Now, but the point is, I'd like to go visit them because I have friends. So here's one lady. It's from a big family. It's pretty important. And this is, but I want to read this one especially to you ladies, and you gentlemen, because women are women all the world over exactly the same. Every color, race, and creed, no different. All share the problem of Adam and Eve and Adam and Steve. I don't know about Adam and Steve, but something went wrong. Went off the rails.
Will you just get on with it?
Anyway. Okay, so here it is. Happy 87th year from Matilda in Tanzania. I don't know how Tanzania got hold of me, but I got getting this to all different parts of the world now. My dear Roy, wishing this, these speak Swahili, so they speak good English because they're educated. Okay, so, but they're as black as the ace of spades. And so I come from a different culture. I come from England. See, I adapt to America. I like it here. I used to, and not anymore. I want to get you all back to what you used to be, and which you've forgotten, because the generations have forgotten it. Several generations have absolutely destroyed this country. And if we don't find your virtues, they don't come back to what I saw when I came here. And I know everything wasn't right in the South and all the rest of it, but Martin Luther King took care of that. And now they're back in their plantations. It's called a money plantation. You're only worth $1 because you keep, you know, if you're in welfare, you know, all you're worth is a vote. And so as long as you get welfare, you are now in a plantation where you're only worth a vote. See, so the plantation is money plantation. You give me money, you get your vote. There you are. And so on and so forth. There's a lot I can tell you about that. But let me tell you about this. Okay. Dear Roy, my dear Roy, wishing you a happy birthday from the bottom of my heart. It's been a while since my last communication with you, maybe 7-10 years. All is well. It has never been so easy, but I continue with the journey. For your birthday, I want to give you a confession to my fellow woman. I could have a fellow woman, but it's all right. Half and half. About receiving corrections from a... But listen, I want to give you confession to my fellow women about receiving corrections from a man. And then you listen to this. Okay, for your birthday, I want to... I said that. From early 2000, see this goes back 15 years, I've been listening to you and read most of your books. I thought I knew everything just about reading your book and understanding them. It was obvious to me that I needed correction from a real man. God granted my prayers and gave me a man almost like you. What I didn't know is how hard it will be for me to accept those corrections from a man. I didn't know that I'm stubborn. I refuse to give in almost everything. There is a thing inside me telling me that you are giving away your freedom. You will be a slave of this man. On the other hand, when I get time to be together and talk, I realize all my mistakes and how wrong I've been. I have become a good woman for some time until I make another mistake again and again. What I've realized is that we women are blind. There are things we do not see, but good man can see. We need to respect and listen to men. Receive corrections from them even if it hurts. The pain is felt by the snake in us and not the real us. When the pain has passed, you will find you have become a better person. Thank you, Roy, for knowing you and becoming the father to me. Happy birthday again, with my love, Matilda. Now, who can fight that? There's a certain lefties on the left, left out of the human race, basically speaking, who do not understand this gracious lady's discovery. See? So, not that you all get a good man, not that there are many left, because there's been a program to demoralize men and turn them into little girls, and make men masculine and women feminine, and everything is bass-ackwards, if you pardon the expression. And that's what's wrong with the country. You haven't bred men. If it was the Second World War, and this has happened, you wouldn't have won the war. All you've got is men are little weenies. I don't know if that's the right term, because it could be applied to other parts of the anatomy. She's told me to be nice. I'm sorry. Embarrass you? I'm here to embarrass you.
Well, let's go at it, man.
No, stop. Before I whack you one.
Well, I got a nice kick.
Okay.
So let's don't do that anymore.
Calm down. Keep calm down. Okay. All right. That's my wife, in case you didn't know. Well, what I want to do, what was that? Shakespeare. Shakespeare makes the point. Shakespeare lived in a different time. You wouldn't dare speak the way I do. This is free speech. In the old days, there wasn't free speech. So you had to cover your speech, and he did it in making these wonderful plays. He revealed the personality, the nature of all the wickedness and the selfishness in every human being. And he did it by playing. so people can watch the play and hopefully see themselves, but they didn't. They just love watching it, and love watching themselves and judging those other people. You see? And it's wonderful prose, I get it. It's poetic almost. But Shakespeare makes this point, and Taming of the Shrew makes, I like that story. It was Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor, if I'm not correct. I have a terrible memory, but not for that one. See, I've seen that film several times and acted out just as Shakespeare wrote it. And what it was saying is that the shrew was a difficult woman. If you know, I mean super difficult. She hated men. She hated that feeble father. And he gave a lot of money if anybody could tame her, and he could have her. Not that you'd want her. But if she's tamed, there's something about Matilda here. In every single woman that is ever born, every part of the earth. This is as far as you can get from me. It's 6, 7, 8, 9,000 miles from here. A completely different culture. She learned to speak English. She could hear what I'm saying, and then, but there's nobody who could speak Swahili that could tell her that. She learned English, so I could tell her that. There's enough words in English language which is very sophisticated, and Swahili isn't that sophisticated. But her husband wrote a book about his experiences. He's an immunologist over there, so he's also educated. And they went around with all the different, in the different villages, and they made CDs, and also went to these different villages, and even the Catholic priests were doing the meditation. And things are starting to get better over there. It's a wonder, it's the first, it is no coincidence that country, Tanzania, is the first democratic country in the whole of America. And George Bush was there, and there's a little office there where he receives all my, he's got computers, and he's loaded up the computers with all the things I said. He could have everything. And George Bush went there. I just see a little bit of story. And he sent the CIA into them. He said, have you ever heard of Roy Masters? He said, yes, he's our friend. And what it is, the CIA went out and it was perfectly satisfied. They must have been reacting with my emails. I've never spoken to them in person, it's all email. So anyway, something happened over there, and I'm still in contact with them. But what I'm saying here is, how did I get hold of this lady? She's one of lots of people there, Catholics, mostly black, and he's written a book about his experience with me and about how meditation can affect the chemistry of a person, because this person is an anesthesiologist, is an immunologist, and he's written a book about his experience. Not because he didn't write the book with the meditation in it, because there's words in there that couldn't be understood in Swahili, so he just wrote a book about his life and did the best he could, and it's a bestseller. I helped him to put that book together and make it go up on Amazon. So that's how I got to here. We can change a country. I know I can change this country if I get enough help, enough money, enough support. And that's what I'm doing. But people over there are broken. They got AIDS. Guess what happened? The people who had AIDS got better. Why did they get better? I'm a little bit off my subject, but I'll get back to it in a minute. They went to the villages, and everybody who had AIDS got better. How did they get AIDS? Because they weren't homosexual. They've been demoralized. They've been raped. The violence in Africa was terrible. They're having sex with babies because they thought the innocent baby, if you had sex with a baby, you could cure your AIDS. Yes. Insanity. The part of Africa for many years children were walking around without parents. All the parents were dying. So we got leftovers. And he went to these villages, they all got better. You can't cure a homosexual because the homosexual is a sinner. These people weren't sinners, they were victims. That's a different story. The disease goes away. It makes the point. The disease goes away when you get rid, but they were innocent. They were innocent of that infection. But homosexuals are not innocent of that infection, and they keep infecting each other and glorify the fact that they, as if they were dying from some great war they lost. Correct? You've seen it all happen before. So if AIDS can be cured, it can be cured, and we're not talking about you being AIDS, it's just a point. I got that from communicating with them. How is it AIDS could be cured effortlessly in meditation without medicine? That's the key. They weren't guilty of sin. They were guilty of being infected, abused. See? Yes. That's my point. Then I'm going to come to the women in just a minute.
Well,
I'm working up to it. So you better watch out.
Okay. My question then is, if we have sickness inside of us right now, which I believe there's, anyways,
I've turned this off.
when
anyway.
you're sorry and you're forgiven of your sin,
But that's a
then
whole change.
do you become,
Yes,
well,
you become, see what I do for you, what my job is, the Holy Spirit in me guides me to guide you.
Can you tell me what the Holy Spirit is?
No. I haven't the fucking idea what it is, but I know what it does.
But it's not separate, right, from God and Jesus?
No, it's the extension of God.
So why do they say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit?
Yeah, but he said, but the Son said he said the Holy Spirit when he told his disciples, you cannot understand me now. But when I leave, I will send you the Holy Spirit, and then you will understand all the words I told you. You cannot have any understanding unless you have what is called the Holy Spirit. Then, see, you live between two worlds. Mm-hmm. See, you live between two spirits, the spirit of evil and the spirit of good. Which one do you want? One is of the world, and the other one is not of the world. It's what made the world and the universe. In other words, you're dealing with a highly intelligent being.
And in this moment,
God is a magician. Now listen carefully. God is a magician. There is, if you want to put an earthy concept of it, I am very good at sleight of hand. One of these days I shall sit here and do a magic show, and your hair will fall out. I can make it look so real that I have to say that you would actually believe I was a magician. But in this, you'd be so enthralled, you'd want to know how I do it. And I keep it from you, because if I give it to you, you lose respect for me. You have respect for me when you don't know how I do it. I've got to know how it's done. Oh, I know how you do it. It's not worth anything. You're never going to understand the Holy Spirit. You're not going to have the strength of God in any way, shape, or form. If you look at a daffodil, of a dandelion. Yes, you got it.
You said it last week.
I did. I like the dandelion because I want to know how the dandelion learned how to create parachutes for its seed. So I want to know how it doesn't have a brain. It was created that way. And if you look at the billions of different plants, and everything that lives and doesn't live, everything that crawls and doesn't crawl, and just the structure of the universe to put it together so you can have dirt to build things, to grow things. So you look at the trees, how they give fruit. I mean, every kind. Why does it have to feed everybody? Even if you feed on the fishes feed on fishes, they got food. Where did the magic come from? Where do these creatures come from? There's new ones, 200 every month. Every month they find new evolutionary, whatever it is, new creatures. 90% of all the old creatures are dead, way back, and there's all new ones.
Interesting.
What I'm trying to say to you, he's a magician. And he's a magician to you especially because a sardine doesn't have a Holy Spirit. See, a dog doesn't have it has a certain consciousness for a dog, no relationship between. There's no Holy Spirit for it. A dog is a dog, and it cannot help but be a dog. It's programmed to be a dog, and it will do exactly as the programming, whatever species you want. You want a Cocker Spaniel? Okay. You want an Australian sheepdog? Okay, it's got a certain personality. It's bred into them. There's nothing bred into you come into the world, but you have come into the world with a spirit. And it's called a child. And a child has this Holy Spirit from the day it's born. It just has to have a mother to feed it and comfort it in a proper way. See, and here we're going to go to the women I'm coming right at you. Okay. But in a good way, Because I want you to be the Matilda. I want you to be that lady that realized the truth, that she's black as ace of spades, had the same spirit as any other woman here. And there's no difference to women no matter what color they are. And there's no difference in men no matter how color they are. They're all stupid. All men are stupid. But women are not that stupid. Women are suffering. They're suffering from the lack of a man. And for the lack of the man, a lack of God. And they look to the man to love the hell out of him. Adam and Eve is the story of man could have loved the hell out of her before it got in her. But he didn't. He was feeble. God made the first man subject to him, but gave him a choice to love him or not love him. Because you can't have love without choice. Love is not a compulsive thing. So how does God make love? He hasn't got a woman up there. He don't need a woman. He's a whole person. What you need is a man that doesn't need a woman. And then doesn't judge her, you see. But we'll go to that in a minute. A man needs to not lust a woman, be subject to her. The first woman took over the man. But it wasn't the woman that took over the man. It is the something inside a woman that took her over and then extended that to the man. And that was the temptation. And what came out of her mouth, well, when I'm speaking, I didn't prepare anything here except that little diatribe on my cell phone. I didn't come here with any speech that I've written. I speak to you, but it's not me speaking to you, it's the Spirit that speaks to you. But it sounds like it comes from me. It looks like it comes from me, but it isn't me. I can't claim any cleverness. I cannot boast of what I say. I don't know what hell I'm going to say next. That's me. I interrupted the Spirit for a minute, because he doesn't talk like that. But the thing is, women have inherently what makes them bitches and witches. They inherit that. And they need to be disabused from it by what? By an Adam they have never met. Every man born of woman, though, the problem is the extension of the bitch. He is he is a son of bitch. All men are sons of bitches because there's no fathers. And because they're sons of bitches, there aren't fathers. I don't mean to be rude, but you see, I have put the onus on a man. Even though he's born from a woman, but what is he born from? A feeble man. The first man, what do you expect? He had no experience. In fact, God cannot create one thing. He cannot, as smart as he is, he cannot create love. Because dogs love each other, but they copulate in the alley. And God never gave them any instructions. That's what they do. The strongest gets the girls, right? The ones with the most chutzpah get the girls. It's like Hebrew, Jewish language. Noiv. Okay. Guts. Lack of value or virtue. Beastly. See? The strongest beast. So who's the strongest beast? Is the woman. She's subtle. She is infected from the day she's born, and the spirit of paradise, the spirit of Paradise Lost, it's in this room. The spirit of Paradise Lost has filled the whole universe, the whole earth, not the universe, right here. The spirit of Paradise Lost doesn't have a form. It has to have a form to defy God's purpose on earth as it is in heaven. And so, evil's in this room. It sits in this room and waiting from one person to another. The most efficient form of evil, it has to get into a person and into a little child. It will suddenly wake up, and a little child of 2 years old wants a little airplane or a little soldier. And he hasn't got the money, but Dad didn't give it to him. And he looks sees the money on his bedroom cabinet next to his bed. And something says to him, you can have that, your father won't miss it. See? And there's a little push, a little pull, and there's no one about. I've had little experience with that. I remember a man saying to me, you know what, Roy? I was playing Cowboys and Indians or whatever it was, and something said to me, pick up that stone and smash that kid's head in. And he was only 4 years old. And he dropped the stone, and he ran. I saw, when I was a kid playing with Cowboys and Indians, all of a sudden in the excitement, there was real Indians. Just for a moment, I said, this is ridiculous. See that? I got out of that trance. Otherwise, it would have been an Indian that had to be killed. See? There's something that enters in you. There's something that said to me, you didn't lock the door. Remember, I've talked that before. The spirit is everywhere. If it isn't in you when you're born, it will get into you somehow. But every woman has it to begin with. And they need to be disabused of it, just like Matilda said. But the point is, what saves her life is she realized she needed a good man. She got a good man, she says, just like me. But I found it very difficult to obey him. See that? Now, my wife has got a good man. She's having a hell of a time just doing simple things. Same thing. No different. Good woman. Decent inside. But she's trapped. And all of you are trapped. And what you need is a good man. But the trouble is, over a period of several generations, women have got rights over men. And a man only has to speak up firmly, and the children's services come and take away the kids, give it to some other scumbag, and therefore your country's gone. Because the children will hate the new father and hate the mother and all the rest of it, and divorces. And there's no father, the real father. You haven't bred fathers, you've bred mothers who are fathers. And you're finished. Everything's finished, you're done.
Everything you've said is...
See, you understand it now, don't you? You can't blame your mother. And you can't blame your father, they're both screwed. And he can't help being screwed by her. She wants him to be strong, but she's bred a weakling. She's bred do you understand? There's got to be a father. We used to have fathers.
My father didn't have a father.
I get it.
And he was...
No father. That's exactly correct. All you had was a mother. And then when she was a father, she was as cruel as he and more cruel than him.
Yeah, I know they both tried, but...
But trying doesn't do it. We need the magician. We need...
Well,
this,
you're the magician.
Well, I'm not a magician. I'm not magic.
Well, you're the magician who...
I appreciate the magician. I don't want to find out how it works. See? I'm not looking for power.
You're the vehicle of the magician.
I just want to be the vehicle.
Right.
So I do, listen, I enjoy magic tricks. I really do. It's wonderful for children. I always have to say, no, look kids, I'm not a magician. It just looks like it. After I have done them. But it opens the door to me, from them. Because they like the magic. But I have a different magic. It isn't that I understand the magic. When I do this, see, it looks like I took my cup. If I put some ketchup on it, it would scare the life out of me. See? And I can't do that with anything else. That would really make me a magician. No, quit.
I know you.
Well, I'm not a preacher. I'm a person. I have a sense of humor. I don't have to be proper.
Yeah, I understand. It's what comes through you.
You see, I'm light-hearted.
Right.
Don't you think Jesus was light-hearted?
Yes.
He didn't sit
He didn't
in
tell
a
too many
pulpit
jokes, though.
with his nose in the air. Did he? So what are you crying about?
Just everything you've said is just...
Well, can I be of service? Can I be the dad you could just relate to me? Listen, I'll walk out of your life because I want you to be a man.
Right.
So, but it doesn't take much of me talking with you to see that your father and mother couldn't help it. Your father, born of mother, is subject to mother, and mother is subject to the...
It's just almost everything you said, just what I live. I mean...
You ever heard a preacher talk like this? And Jesus said this, and Jesus said that, and Jesus says this, and Jesus says that. And I'm going to blow my nose.
We all know you're human.
That's right.
I mean, I think I'm beginning to see the man and woman. I'm not married, but I avoided it.
Thank God you'd have been dead.
Well, maybe that's why I never got married, because
That's the
I
idea.
always had a lot of conflict.
How old are you now?
58.
Stay away from him.
Stay away. Well, I have.
Yeah.
for
But the
most
point
part.
is, you could develop proper relationship.
Right.
You could be, I mean, you could have a relationship with ladies, but
Well,
be afraid of them.
Well, I've been nice, very nice to
ladies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gentlemanly. And,
You're a virgin.
well, I'd rather not say that because it
Yes or no?
yes.
Good. Now, that's the
You
reason
see, now
why-
everybody, people make fun of me for that, though, and they
I
call
know.
me.
I don't.
They're
I-
getting
No, I already knew. I read you already. You've done well. You're still
Well,
clear.
But it wasn't mine.
I know. It's a fear.
Jesus was a virgin.
I
Nobody
know.
forgets that.
That's right. That's my grandson. Little upstart. The thing is, you still could get married. You have a long
Well,
life.
Yeah, I met girls, and I've seen what's inside of them.
But you be a gentleman
Yeah,
and be strong.
right,
And don't give too much affection to them.
right. Well,
Listen to this. A man does not need love from a woman.
right. Well, I see that I have
you didn't-
I have given them power.
Yeah, and then they start to advance and you get afraid. They start to get stronger. You're too nice to them and
Right.
you're emboldening them. See? And then
Right.
you have to pull back. See? So, you men, you do not love a woman in the understanding of the word. See, I do not love my wife like anybody else. What's it like to live with Roy Masters?
Women ask me that all the time.
Yeah. And she says, you don't want to know.
No, she doesn't.
They're just joking. So, but the point is, I'm not like everybody else. I do not love my wife like the ordinary man loves his wife or her wife.
The modern nuclear family.
Because that's worse. So, I love, don't hate my wife because she's difficult. And she's never had a father that was any good. She's never had a mother that's any good. A crying, weeping person, always giving in. And a father that runs away with different women, etc., etc. These are all the things that shaped her. Nothing has shaped me. Nothing has shaped me. I have caught those things, my sins, or the potential of sins, in a very early stage. But I was carefree. I had a decent mother that was a little bit too nice, but she was good, decent. She was, how can I say? She was spoiled. No, no, you don't talk.
Okay,
Don't talk. Let me say what I want to say.
okay.
My mother was spoiled. She was the last of the family, and she was indulged a lot. She was spoiled. She was the last one. But still, she was codependent on my father, and he was good. Not a mean thing. He smoked 3 or 4 packs of cigarettes and died. He probably had, no, he was the worst World War victim. He never told me how he was wounded. Okay? So, whatever it was, he was 42 when he died. But no harm ever came from him. It was like a bubble over my house. You couldn't see the bubble, but if you look back on it, you could say that's what it is. You couldn't see it. And my mother, and when my father died, this is what she did. She probably hated, she had sick headaches, which means she's angry. Okay. And then it became a heart problem and she dropped dead in front of me when I was fast forward. I was in America, she came over on the Queen Mary, and I took her with me on my journey because I was working. And I had my son, my firstborn son, with us. Little kid. Yeah, she was there too. And she dropped dead in a motel. Okay, that was it. But the reason why, and she was only 54, and it's because I can tell you without her telling me, she hated God before she died. She hated my father for dying and leaving her, see, because she was codependent, and that's how a codependent person thinks. And the sick headaches, I wasn't aware enough to guide her, but I knew she was angry. I would say to Mother, if you got angry, I knew it then. And so, but the point is, what she did for me is quite remarkable. She turned to me at 12 years old and made me the master of the house and the breadwinner, which I took without begrudging. There's a way of doing it begrudging, and you got a problem when you grow up. I did all those nice things. You hate it, but the point is that you haven't brought them up, because all the siblings that you bring up, all the good things you do, if you're begrudging it, it's just willful, you're doing it out of obligation, and it's not the same thing as doing it free will. Are you all right? Did you see something just now?
No.
Are you all right?
I'll just,
Okay. But the point is, she looked at the man in me. And looking back, I didn't know what blessing she'd put on me. But she made me the man and looked to me for advice. And guess what? My brother got jealous of that. And he's hated me ever since. He thought my mother loved me more than him. All she did is look to me as a man, because she didn't know where else to go. See? But what happened was, it made me a man. It brought out, if I want you to know, ladies, if you have lost a husband, and if your husband isn't there, and you're not sure of anything and you can't get hold of him, turn to your son. If he's 5 years old or 6 years old or 3 years old, say, what do you think about this? And you'll be surprised what comes out. Like Jesus, a little child shall lead them. It doesn't say a big child. It doesn't say an adult. It says a little child, because he's not too far from paradise lost. He still has the innocence he was born with, to some degree. And when you turn to him, you pull it out.
Yeah, I was very kind to my mother after my father died, because I always had
Well, were you addicted?
Well, I always had a conflict with my mom.
A
There was a
conflict.
battle, but once my father died, something changed.
What happened?
Well, she came to me for excuse my face.
Was she difficult?
Yes, but after my father died, we had a better relationship.
But
Because
did you ever-
because she couldn't affect me.
She
anymore.
couldn't?
She couldn't, not anymore. And I have no.
So where's your
I have-
where's your problem? Because you seem like something nice about you.
Well,
Where's
if I knew what my
where-
problem
if
was.
you have a problem, then, and you've dealt with your mother right, and you've dealt with the ladies right, correct?
Yes,
I like that. So why are you troubled?
I'm a little weak. That's
What do you
the
mean?
main-
How do you know you're weak? You don't stand up for yourself?
I'm doing that more.
Okay. Yeah, then you know what? You do that more, and go to the gym, and not to the John.
Well, I have. I carry. Well, I don't have. Well, I don't have too many problems because I can see what people.
Yeah. So you really don't need me that much, do you?
But I like to come. Well, look. I didn't think I didn't know I was going to.
Have a little cry.
Right. But everything, like I said, everything.
You
said.
cried because you knew it was true. Is that right? It's a joy. You have no real traumas, do you?
Not really, but well,
Maybe. You have any traumas?
not really.
Okay. So you're really
I
a
had a
decent
pretty
fellow.
good-
So you need to have more.
I just need to be stronger.
You need to be more fun. You need to be more carefree, like me.
Lighthearted.
Lighthearted.
I'm pretty lighthearted, but it's just that I lack the strength. That's what you have, and I don't.
No, it's confidence. Confideo. A con with God. Right? Confideo. With God. That's what gives you strength. And all you need, you haven't got far to go. You sit quietly, a 7-minute meditation,
Right. I did that this morning.
and see, you'll be just fine.
Right.
Go out and say what comes to your mouth. Say what comes to your mouth, and it will. The smallest things will offend people, as long as it's got to come out.
Well, all those
You
little
hear my
things-
wife saying, "No, you don't be like that." No, I am like that. I'm a little. I'm a little rude sometimes. Yeah. I'm a little saucy sometimes. I'm a little out of order sometimes, and it shocks people. He's a priest. He's a chaplain, whatever you call it. No, I'm just an ordinary person. Jesus didn't make anything himself. He's just an ordinary person with extraordinary magic. Every one of you have magic. You only have to sit still and let it catch up with you. And I've shown you the way. 7-minute meditation is good enough. If you want more, fine. The rest of it is simply putting into words what may not shape in you quickly enough. Okay. And then I see that, but you may not see it all at once. You may sit quietly through the other meditation, the other one which is longer, be still and know, and listen to like a dad talking to you. That's it. That's all it is. Yes.
Well, I came from a shrew, and I'm a shrew. My mom recently died. Last time I came to see you, I talked about my dad who committed suicide. We had a
And why did he commit suicide? Why do you think? Your mother drove him mad.
well, they've been divorced since I was a
I
little
know, but
girl.
it drove him mad.
He was a man that was illegitimate, and then his own mother married a drunk that beat the shit out of him his whole life.
This is
So that-
this is either trauma to a child. The
Yeah,
child is
horrible.
born into this crap.
Right. No, it's horrible. So I was here the last time, and and my mom died the very next day. Boom, died in her chair in the kitchen.
That's good.
So, so that was February. But anyway, I was just going to say, I came from a very traumatic, both my parents were bullies. And I'm an appeaser. I got a big mouth, but I am an appeaser.
Now, what does appeaser mean?
Means I had to figure out how to survive.
And you
And
have to be
so
careful of your mouth.
I had to vacillate between both parents because it was rough.
But point is,
But-
you're not a
but-
child anymore. You're not a
No,
child
you're
anymore.
right. And what I want to talk about is not my parents or not the trauma. What I saw the other day, so most of my friends are bullies because
You're
bullies
drawn to them.
irritate me like my parents.
And irritate you into being an appeaser. into pleasing them.
And then, exactly.
To fix them with what looks like love.
Exactly,
With
and
guilt.
I've been in healthcare for years and years. But the other day, so I have some friends, and you know them, and they're out there, they're outspoken, and they say stuff. And afterwards, all this anger just came up, just full force inside of me over nothing. And I wanted to look at it, and and what I saw was, it doesn't matter what was said, what I saw was that as an appeaser, as a people pleaser, that because of the environment that shaped me
Yes,
to
I
become that person, there isn't one nice thing you can do in life if it's fueled from resentment.
That's right.
There isn't one nice gesture there isn't one good thing, because it's all, you're feeding that nature. You're feeding it every time you're nice. And
Nice in a wrong way.
not, but you don't know you're doing.
No,
You don't know you're doing
you
it.
think you're loving the person,
You-
but you're acting out. You feel the guilt
Yeah.
of hating, and you want to make it up to the person
So,
who's bullying
so
you.
that's my whole. But I never saw the under. I never saw
You see it now.
the energy behind it.
Yes.
And yeah, so it's great. I mean,
Listen.
I don't know who I am, but I'm free now. I mean, my dad listened to
Good.
you, and he was a crazy. My father was, but I loved him. As a little girl, he was really a wild butt. He did kill himself. I know that's, but I did love it.
He tried to be good. He tried.
He
He didn't know what it was.
loved you. He did love you. But what happened is when he saw the spirit of my mother in me, it
couldn't
just
handle it.
drove him crazy.
There you go.
No,
So
but
you-
he
you
did
feel-
love you. And he said to me, when he was young, he said, I always knew there was something wrong with me. He would stare at spray paint on the wall. He would try different drugs. And he said that in LA in 1965, he traded a peyote plant to a guy in a liquor store for your record. And he said he knew in 30 seconds that was the way.
Okay. You okay?
I just,
Gotta
it's
say
been
it.
quite a big journey. It's been a big journey, Roy. And I've been really, whatever, but you know what? I just can't, I don't know.
You what?
I believe I may be really screwed up and I do a lot of stuff wrong and I'm hard to handle, but I believe.
You're grieving. Let it go.
I know,
Grieving is a false love.
I know. But last time I was here, my mom just dropped dead the next day. Boom, gone. Oh boy. I'm it. And I have a half-sister of my mom's and she's schizophrenic.
What happened to the other half?
She doesn't have the same dad. She doesn't have the same dad, but she's schizophrenic and she's in a home and now she's my care.
But if you look now around at all the people who are taking drugs who are schizophrenic and mentally disturbed.
Yeah, but
and
she's
ill-
my care now, my sister. She's become my care because there is nobody else.
So now you have
haven't-
to be careful how you care.
I don't, yeah.
How careful are you?
She's in California and I live in Oregon and she's in a home right now. So,
Maybe that's the best place.
yeah, oh yeah, I'm not going to bring her home.
I think you need to go on that journey on your own now.
But I don't, anyway, it's a great, you know what, and you said that God, how's it, you know, when I was a little girl, I was wondered about God, and me and my dad would have arguments about God because he said that God just put things in motion, and I would argue with him that I didn't believe that was true. But I think you said that God can't create love, but I don't believe that
No,
because
no.
God is love.
No, God is love,
So
and
good-
he knows
so-
he can't create it.
So maybe it's because love is free.
No, he creates it by creating Adam and Eve. And it gets ruined by Adam and Steve.
But you were saying too about God being.
Well, no, but don't you understand God knew
Yeah.
that what was going to happen?
Yeah.
Because what we're
course.
dealing with, there's a story which I never believed of a war in heaven. Remember?
About
And
the
a third
fallen
And a third of the
angels.
angels fell
Correct.
down. And where do they fall? Here. But they have no bodies. They have no bodies. So, I used to, when I was a little boy, worry about my feet at the end of the bed. And I would cover my feet up because I think that's how they would enter. Is that correct? Ever felt that? Yeah. Of course. It's because it's my soul. Two of them. See? Well, it felt like that. I could see little creatures in the room, and I would cover up my feet, as if they could enter there. And maybe that's true, because when Moses was observing the burning bush, he said, "Take off your feet, for the ground which you stand on is holy."
You got my shoes.
Yeah, no, take off your feet. The devil made me do that. Take off your feet and put on your shoes.
And why did they say that? Because it's something to it.
There's something to it. I find it with walk around in the grass with bare feet, it's somehow healthy.
It's healthy.
Yeah, it's something good. Fresh grass. Yeah, I get bitten, but it's all right. But there's something about that. I like to walk around with my bare feet. See? But it's not the same thing as on the linoleum as it would be on the grass. Something about that. Okay. So where are we going? You have a question?
I do actually. I was thinking about, when you get broken, why it fosters such a loyalty to the female spirit, like my mother. I just want to break the umbilical cord. I'm done,
Well, you see, the umbilical cord is codependence.
Yes.
It's you've been spoiled.
Oh, God.
You see? You will have the look of it.
Yes.
See?
Yeah.
And so your mother has never set you free. She was feeding off you.
She treated me like a princess when I was growing up, always giving me sweets on the sly. Don't tell your sisters. Always
Don't tell your father.
puffing me, yes, always puffing me up. And over the years, I just have this wrong loyalty towards her, and it's hurt me,
I know. You have a dark side.
I do, I can feel it.
Yeah.
The dynamics, see, in
But
my family...
it makes you helpless. It makes you
Yes.
helpless towards the thing that's in you.
Totally helpless, because the other side of it is my mother complained about how sick she was all the time, and when you're a little kid, you can't do anything.
She's using her sickness as a control.
Absolutely, and I was so helpless and feared for my security all the time. And you told me once many years ago, you're looking for security. I couldn't see it.
But men look for security from women.
Right.
Men born of woman have the extension of what mother is in him. The minute a baby is born to a woman, not that I'm saying anything bad about them, because they can't help themselves any more than men can, but men need to I need to educate men about women so that they can love the hell out of them, but not embrace the hell in them. What they do is because they're born subject to the woman. There's a tendency of innocence there, all children, but mother, the first thing that happens to a baby boy born to a mother, it is violated by her very presence. And the breast milk is the food of paradise lost. Anything that comes from her. Anything, even the milk that flows, it subjects the child to that. See? It's automatic. And the child is looking for father to save him from his mother. Right. But he was born the same way. When it comes to a female born to a woman, whatever is in her flows into the female. But whatever comes from a woman into the male child is violation the day it's born. But doesn't mean to say that it doesn't have innocence. It's violated. It means it is subject to temptation. In other words, it sets the stage to go back to the woman for love. See?
I'm sorry.
Isn't
Oh.
that how God,
Oh,
isn't
go
that how
ahead.
God designed
Can you
it?
stand up so I can see you?
Isn't that how God designed it?
Yes, he designed it that way. But he designed it so that through one man, sin and death through sin. Trials, tribulations, all the problems you have come through the women. Not that it's the woman's fault. It is not the woman's fault. It is a fault, but not the... Do you understand that? It's an inherited quality, and that is the reason why socialism and Marxism understands this. You don't want the father to be the head of the home. You've got to breed them otherwise. That's why you've lost your country. And the women are looking for men and they can't find them. They're all sissies and bullies. Is that right or wrong?
Yeah, that's right.
Except me. Except me. No. But you know, I've learned it. She's no angel. I've learned it. No, I'm the angel of death to hell, so shut up. No, I'm not joking. I'm not joking about that. So I wouldn't laugh at that if I were you.
It's lighthearted.
No, it's not lighthearted. This is... I can be lighthearted, but you can't be lighthearted about that.
No, that's true.
I'm the angel of death to people who hate me. And I don't have to do anything to them, but they die. That's very simple. I've warned her over and over again, don't play with me. I have to stand up for what's right, and you can't. I cannot let you get away with it. I cannot let you get away with it. And you're not going to get away with it, and she says she is. Okay? And that's the war.
But I'm not.
We're not asking for you yet. Okay.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, you let me know later on. Okay. But what I'm trying to say is that men have to stand up when she's unreasonable. Now, if a person says, what's unreasonable? I say, if you don't know what it is, I can't tell you. Because you won't know what I said. There is something that's not right, and we all know good from evil, and a man must know what the boundaries are, and when she starts to be in charge of you, and starts to be rude, and not make your dinner, or whatever it is, and punish you for what you don't know you've done, and it starts that way, I will not let that go. Ever. Now, the consequence for that, to play with me, not that I'm bragging. In other words, if you are a child of God, I live a good life. I know what kindness is. I know what thoughtfulness is. I know what manners are. I know how to deal with my wife. I know how to deal with my children. But betrayal is the woman. She'll undermine you, but that's okay, because you've got to catch it. In other words, you have to live with it. You have to live with what Adam bequeathed us because of his weakness to the woman, and the woman rules. And the woman must not rule, because otherwise you have it backwards, upside down. It is what you got now in America. It's the devil, the woman, and the man and the child gone. It's the mothers that's the father, and the devil, in a manner of speaking, if you want to put it in the proper language. That is the mischief where the fatherless country. You cannot have a fatherless country, and the communists and the Marxists know it. No-fault divorce is specially designed to create an opening for her to walk away with the kids and give it to some stranger. And the men don't stand up. They let it happen. I warned her a long time ago when we had a fight. And she's going to divorce me. I said, this is what I said, and I meant it. Yes, the years will go by. One morning you'll wake up and they won't be there, and you'll be left alone. And you know what? I meant it, no matter what I broke the law. I meant that. I would carefully plan that. That's what I do, because when I go to war like Netanyahu. Take my kids away? No. Ever. I'm not going to see them in the hands of another scumbag, right? With the scumbag that she would become, right? You wouldn't have that. It would happen if I had to go to jail, but I wouldn't. I do that very, very carefully. Very carefully, because lots of people get away with it. The president gets away with it, doesn't he? So I can get away with it too. And I take my chances. It's for my children. And all men should do that. There should be civil disobedience. That's what it should be. But they haven't got any balls. That's the trouble. Sorry. Well,
Now can that strength that you have for your kids,
I'm fighting that. I'm fighting that.
I want to fight
For my kids. I'm
for
fighting that in my
children
kids now.
now, because I put that there. So can I be sorry enough that it takes it away from them?
Yes, you can. You're just fine.
Okay,
You're just going through it.
but they'll be
Just-
okay too.
Yes. Trust me,
I do.
you're forgiven.
I know.
Everything.
I
You
do.
trust me when they say that you're forgiven for everything?
Yes.
Let all that stuff go. Let every anger you have go, because they can no more help themselves than you can help yourself, because it's just passed on to you through being angry with them.
What? They can't.
Couldn't help themselves. But listen to the commandment. Honor your mother and father, even if they're not honorable. See, you had a mother and father, you came through them, that's how you got into the world.
So,
It's all they did for you, it's good enough.
so when I forgive my mom, then my kids can forgive me only.
Yeah. If you forgive your mom, the kids will forgive you.
'Cause that's all.
All you have to say to them is, look, I hated my mother and father, and I couldn't bring you up right. I did all things wrong. You can't do a right thing. You said yourself, you can't do a right thing. She said you can't do a right thing when you have anger. You cannot do anything right, because the anger eats up all your energy and puts into you a new nature.
But how does it turn it into candy?
Candy?
Yeah, because I'm the same as her. It's like,
What did she say?
I'm not like, rawr.
She wants to know why it's turning into candy.
Well, listen, when my wife, she's sitting here, she would say, if you eat your dinner, I give you ice cream. I said, no, that's not the way it's going to be. But this is how it works. But she wants to makes the kids sure the kids eat their dinner. That's wrong. They're either hungry or not. This is interfering with their lives. This is a manipulation. Does she know she's manipulating? No, she thinks she's doing the good thing. I know it's not the good thing. That's the difference. So,
And then we take credit.
yeah, take credit for it being so she give the ice cream to the kids and don't tell your father. What he doesn't know, it doesn't hurt him, basically. You think that's good?
Well, she didn't say that.
But just basically. Okay. So I say, no more ice cream in the house. Ice cream gets in the house. And then I find it, and then the whole idea is to find me yelling at the kids because they ate ice cream, and the mother behind it, she's the one, but the kids get the brunt of the punishment. See, that's how wicked it is, but that's how compulsive it is. Now the question is, do I hate her for that? No. Now you multiply that by 1,000,000, and you got it right. In 63 years. Got it right. Multiply it by 1,000,000, and 1,000,000 times I'm strong but not wrong. And she still loves me. There's something inside her that...
Always a good example.
Yes, she does, but still, there's still something still moving. That's why she's losing her memory.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, she's losing her memory.
No, I know that, but why? Why is she losing their memory?
Because she's resenting my corrections, and it doesn't take. And to the degrees it doesn't take, she pays for it. And to the degrees that you don't take it, you will pay for it because you're sitting here listening. And if you don't take it, you'll come again and again, but you're not married to me. So the difference between being married to me is 24 hours a day.
Yeah, it is.
See? And more building up, more anger. And anger will kill her.
But when it's...
I'm saying to you, I will not stop even if it kills you.
Okay.
Do you understand that? If I give in, I lose my soul. If I will correct it, but not with anger, but with strength. Jesus threw the money changers out of the temple. He's not a timid person. He uses non-violent force. Grace has non-violent force. If I want to cut your freaking head off, I would.
Get a little stronger.
No. I got to be strong to make a point. And don't do that again.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry.
Do you understand when I'm making a point?
Yeah.
Is ISIS come here, cut off head, and eat a ham sandwich?
Lots of ketchup.
And lots of ketchup. The reason is because it has to be done. I don't have to have it. I can kill my enemy without hating him. The trouble with post-traumatic stress disorder is they can't. Because men go into the army trying to be men. And most of them don't make it. Some of them do. Like the American sniper. He was a real man. He didn't feel guilty about killing those people. He was saving the lives of his men.
Except for when they were children, then he had that moment. But
Yeah. So
I watched
I'd make a good soldier, although I didn't want to be a soldier. I was in the military, but I didn't want to be a soldier then. I wasn't that knowledgeable. You could stand up and punch somebody in the nose. I had no problem doing that. I had lots of fights. I loved every one of them. Yeah, I meant it.
heard of, right?
Well, marriage is a fight. I like that one too. She's going to see it, or she's going to pay for it. And how she pays for it is not me. What I do is continuously say, no, you can't do it that way. No, you're going to pay a price for this. You're going to lose some clothes. You're going to lose something. You're going to have some inconvenience. And when she gets past that, see, there's still more of it. There's a continuous impotence. But that's a good thing. I needed that. I needed a woman that would challenge me all through my life. No, but it's not good. But the point, it isn't good for her. And eventually, I do hope she's coming around to see that when she's playing with my brain and trying to rob me of unconsciously, not knowing it, absolutely not knowing it, but thinking it's freedom, like this lady, the lady Matilda. She felt like she was losing her freedom until she heard me. And then she got a good man, and she was still doing it to this man and couldn't stop. But the good man put a stop to it. See? She's beginning to appreciate that she needs to respect the good man. If you're going to marry a man, you've got to make sure he knows that you know what he knows, but you are a servant of that, as he is a servant of God. You can't just marry any man because you're insecure. You have to look. You have to wait for the man. You can't. You see, the trouble is, because you are broken and come from homes, you just want a man. And you look at the first man that looks like they love you, and it creates a feeling in you for them. That doesn't mean to say it's love. It's lust. You give of yourself hoping that he's going to love you back, and it doesn't work. He's using you, emboldening what's wrong with him. He's a bully, and he's a bigger bully. If he's a coward, he's going to be a bigger coward. You don't have a man if you give yourself to any man. I'm not one of those men. And my kids are not going to get away with what she put in them. Don't worry, I'm working on it. but they're all good kids. I have a good fight with them every now and then. I won't lose.
Like, without any
I'm telling you a
doubt
lot about myself here.
that the man that is saying he loves you is real. How do you do
I never
it?
tell my wife I love her.
Or that he wants to marry you.
No, I don't tell her I love you. What are you talking about? Am I crazy? Doesn't she see I love her? Why do I have to say it? Do I love you? Yes. Do I say it? No. I like having you here. I like talking to you. I like you talking up to me. I want to share with you. I'm sitting here all day. And you like it too, don't you?
Yes.
She doesn't. But she's learning. God gives me a tough one. But I won't walk away.
That's the one.
I won't walk away. I can see her, hit me, go on, hit me. No. That's what they all do. Every one of you do it.
Is there a possibility that there is a woman out there that can really put a intention to be good, honest, grace-filled, compassionate, loving, humanitarian?
You all have that. You all have that when you find a good man.
And then again, how do you know that this
and when
guy
you
is a good guy?
No, you're married, you didn't get a good one, but there's good in him. There may be good in him, you don't know. The chances are there are. The chances are more there's good in the man that you spoiled, that you may turned into a bully because you gave something of yourself too much. You gave, when he loves you and you love him back, you're playing the role of God. But it's the devil. You're supporting the worst in him. Don't you see? The love that you have is enabling him. You give yourself to him, but there's lots of ways. Let's discuss this a little bit. The question is good way. You must always be not angry with what he does and not afraid not to give yourself to him, sexually or otherwise. In other words, it applies when you find the Spirit, Holy Spirit, which a woman can do, can get it first. Okay, because otherwise you have there's no chance for you. So you can have it when the man hasn't got it, and you may have it for a little while until he comes around. In other words, you have to take a stand of not being intimidated by his unreasonable demands, and perhaps going along with them as long as they're not dangerous or really stupid. But you have to make a choice about whether you go along with them. You say, no, I'm not going to do that. You're not going to do it, not like this, I'm not going to do that. No, it's not the same thing. Put another dumpling in there. No, I'm not going to do that. Right, not that way. I don't think it needs another dumpling. But if you want to put another dumpling, it's all right. See, it's got about, excuse me, you don't talk to me that way. See? I'll put 10 dumplings in. And then and serve it for dinner. You can do all the things and take a stand. The main thing to take a stand is no anger. There's no stand without anger. There's no correction. What you have to do is make a man ashamed of himself because you're a weaker vessel. You're not as strong. He's big and strong, and that's assuming he is. And you say, he wants you to do something that's not right. No, I'm not going to do it. This is not proper. And then you explain it to him, and then he loses his temper. Let him lose his temper, and you just look at him. He can't touch you. There's the magic.
Well, there's a scourge of...
And then he's going to feel ashamed. And then he's going to rush off and get drunk. When he comes home drunk, he's still the same way. Got it?
And there is a scourge going on in this country, almost an epidemic of methamphetamine addiction.
Well, but that would not happen if you would play your role, or your husband would play your role. It'd be nice if you both play the role. That would be a happy marriage. But the marriage does not have to be happy, because each one of us, man and woman, have to deal with the craziness in the husband or the wife. And so the wife has to deal with the husband too, but she doesn't do it with force. She doesn't do it with impotence. She doesn't do it with hiding things and making him crazy. Okay?
And then there's also when you discover someone's a pathological narcissist. Pathological narcissist.
Narcissist. Yeah, but it's still a mental condition. And so all you have to do is hold your ground. In every little temptation, hold your ground. See? And if it comes to shooting him, shoot him. There's a point. There's a point of no return in some things, which is rare. I'm only saying that you can use violence if you have to.
Do you condone divorce?
I condone divorce. I'm not divorced.
You do not
I
condone.
promise.
Or you do.
I promise when I'm married, love till death do us part. That is an oath before God. That's what it's going to be. That's it. For better or for worse. Does it say better for worse? Doesn't it say better for worse? Yeah. Okay, I accepted those terms, and I kept them. And I've got five. I've got
honor and cherish.
Yeah. Through death and yes, honor and obey. And my job is to cherish. I cherish you. And you know to obey me, otherwise what is cherishing? How do you cherish something that is improprietous, purposely? I still put up with it. You can't make me make me divorce you. And I won't let her divorce me.
I hope not.
No, the guy that messes with me is going to have a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And I'm 87 and I still can do it. You don't want to have Roy Masters coming at you with full force.
As your children would say, don't brag.
No, you don't want. I'm just saying you don't want that.
Yes.
Nobody wants that.
Our sons
Yeah.
are pretty strong.
Yeah. I'm glad they are.
She wanted to use this too, but do you want to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll go after you. Oh, okay.
Are we doing okay today?
Yeah, except, can I just ask a question?
Sure.
It's been a couple weeks ago, and I think David was here, and I had a little reaction to his whatever, putting up the cross and stuff. And I still feel that thing wiggling, and am I right just saying watch it?
Hold
or
a second. Are you okay with this now?
I need,
Has that comforted you? You understand what this is? Hold a second. You understand this? Did you understand what it meant? It meant that the darkness inside you is traumatized by the cross, by the symbol. It means it failed. And the devil cannot fail. It's so egotistical. It failed with Jesus. Remember I said, in the beginning you can have everything except that tree. In the end, God is saying to the devil, you can have everything but that one. You got everything else. I could take it away if I wanted to, because it's all mine anyway. See? But for the sake of the plan I have, you can take, now you've got the whole world. You can have everything but that one. And they took him. And there everything turns black. And this is the sign This is a symbol. If you have post-traumatic stress disorder, the sounding of a backfire of a bus will set you off, and it will drive you crazy. It's the same noise as a gun. And it would trigger the same behaviors. See, so this triggers the behavior. You lost this woman. See, you're not reacting so much now, are you?
There's just a little bit left.
Yeah, but don't you see? It's nothing.
No, it's not.
It's
It doesn't have
a
the power.
little weasel in
It
there.
is.
You only gave him the power
I
by
did.
being angry with it.
Yeah.
Angry with yourself. It wasn't yourself.
I
It
was
was
so angry. It's just little.
it. This is just a stick.
No,
It is more than a stick.
it's so love. It's
It represents
love.
that. Yes, it does that. It's traumatic, and it's not necessary because who holds the cross. It makes the difference. Do you understand? Who holds the cross makes the difference. The cross by itself won't do it. It's me. It's what in me is transmitted through me to you through this.
And it's there in me now. I have that too, that what you have.
You what?
I have what you have in me now, so I can hold that cross and be free.
That's what you did just now.
Yes,
You are free.
I am free. There's just
You'll
a
be
little
all right.
bit of cockroaches from the light that have to just scurry away.
Say that again.
When you turn on the light and the cockroaches run,
Oh yes.
well, my light's not getting turned off, so they just have to die in the light now, and it's just
I know it's
little bit.
been a while, but you see, you have a sweet, very noble. You have a good quality. You have a good love of God, and it's taken a while for you to find it.
time.
That's all. But it's worth it.
So worth it.
Don't you understand? You remember the story of the two people who owed a businessman money, and one owned $50, and the other had $5,000, and he forgave them both. And Jesus says, which one would appreciate it most? Because in those days you go to debtor's prison, so $5,000 would leave you in prison for a long time. Okay, so which one would appreciate the most? The one that was forgiven the $50,000, or the one who was forgiven the $50? Which one would be the happiest?
Well, you would think the 50,000 because
Of
it
course,
was more.
because who sins much loves much.
Well, then I'm going to be one big ball of love. I'll tell you.
All those parables are very beautiful. See how beautiful it is? He makes the point.
So all this is just garbage because I'm at home and my face twitches. I drive in the road and my face twitches. And
So what?
so what?
It goes
Who
away.
cares, huh? Yeah.
It's sort of him pissing on you before it leaves.
Okay, I'll take a shower. You might want to help that lady.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I don't want
Leave
to
it.
interrupt if she's not done. But I have a lot of that wiggling, whatever.
Well,
going
don't
on.
let it bother you. Unless you have worms in your intestines.
I think I got worms everywhere. I don't know.
No, but the point is, just don't let it bother you.
It's
Don't-
just my
don't-
whole body is just
You see-
constantly.
I know, but it's the process of getting worse or getting better. I can't tell you. Is it getting better or worse?
I think it's staying the same. I can feel it all over.
In other words, you haven't got any better. I see you've got better.
I
I see you are
David
much
was-
more clear.
here one day and he put the little cross up and I did a whole lot of this, whatever.
Yeah,
I
but
wasn't
today
natural.
you seem to be a lot better. Today you're just talking about it normally.
Yeah, I can feel it all over. though.
You can feel it, but don't
Just
resent it.
watch it.
No, you just watch it. See, it has to do with trying to get your energy to hate it.
Oh,
It has to do. It cannot feed. It cannot. Whatever it is feeding on your tempting you to resent it.
oh.
Just like you tempted your mother, your father, whatever
Yeah.
tempted you, put
Both.
that in you. And when it's in you, it's like another person keeps tempting you to give it energy by using your will, getting you, trapping you into
Oh.
giving you to struggle with it.
Oh.
And when you struggle with it, you empower it.
And food is part of this.
Of course.
I have trouble with that.
Every drink, every drug, all the food you eat, and the food you eat that gives you special pleasure, and not using the simple foods that is good for you. The fact that you choose ice cream when you shouldn't, you see, and you use all kinds of foods and fancy foods, and you make fancy foods with pictures on and making them into a birthday cake with all kinds of. Then you eat your artwork. All that is part of your problem,
Okay.
because you want to feel like a queen. You see, it all comes out as crap anyway. See, what does it? It doesn't make any sense. You eat your artwork.
Thinking controls, or whatever, something controls the thinking.
No, it's the pleasure you get from eating what
No,
you've
but
just
beside
done.
the food, the wiggling and all of that.
Yeah, it's all everything that you do
It's a temptation.
with a desire to get a feeling from it.
Or to get it to stop.
I mean, many years ago, the board of directors gave me a car. I buy my own car. I don't get money from the foundation. Whatever it is, I like to trade cars and get second-hand ones. I don't have one less than 14 years old right now. So, but they look like brand new ones, and she says, "Oh, Roy Masters is screwing the foundation with money." No, they just look like new cars. They're not. Okay, I got to have a car. I see. I have to have 10 cars because people give them to me. I get, I got a nice one on my anniversary. I got a Jaguar. Always wanted a Jaguar. Now I got another one.
Well, it was given to me
It was good. No, it was given to both of us.
from our son.
Yeah. Okay. But that was not what you said.
No, I'm playing.
I think you better stop playing. And you're really better off with the mouth closed.
Thank you.
Okay. See what I mean? Okay. Now where was I?
Jaguar.
Oh yeah. I always wanted a Jaguar, I never would buy one. Then I got one given to me back to me as a. We're talking about 40 years later. But I got it. Hit 30,000 miles on it, so it was beautiful. And then all of a sudden I got another one. And it's 2004, but it stands like it's newer than the new. 38,000 miles on it was a gift. But it comes to me. All the things, I never would buy it. Never. I bought a Mercedes for her once, 22 years ago. We still have it. Okay, but she can't drive it yet. The thing is, not right now. The thing is, everything I have comes to me. And there's another magic. Seek first the kingdom of God, and everything else will come to you. All things will come to you. But when you are broken as a child, you have lost the goal, the story that could be written through you. There's a story. If anybody wants to make a story of me, if I can remember it all, it is a really weird story. And you couldn't make this up. Whatever's happened to me to bring me here with no education, to write physics, which is better than most physics, best theories, I'll challenge any. By the way, if you're a physicist, I'll show you how the universe was made. I've got 7 pages, and if you want to come up and sign what do you call it, a non-something agreement.
Non-disclosure?
Yeah, non-disclosure, please, I'll show it to you. And your hair will fall out. because I never had an education. I can see it for myself. I can see all the mistakes you make. I'm a theorist. See, I have an intuition and I make it work. I can't make this work because I don't have a mechanical work, but I've got the theory and I got it right. And you don't know what gravity is, I do. And you don't know what it is, so you can't argue. Got it? So I will show you what it is and how it works and how it was created. Gravity is not a property of matter. Gravity is a property of the universe, just like Einstein says, and I can prove it. Even Einstein changed his mind. Pity about that too. But anyway, the magic is, what was I saying just now?
How the jaguar came to you.
You know, yeah, things will come to, that's right, things will come to you. And will come to you in the right time. When you lose, when you are violated, you are disconnected from the story for the purpose for which you were created. And then you become reconstructed with a new sense of direction from the world around you. And then it looks like you're setting up your mind to achieve something and to give yourself what could have been given to yourself over the years. And so therefore a wrong story. And now you create a wrong story because the more you want, the more you get. And damned if you get it and damned if you don't. And if you find out that you feel guilty, how many people feel guilty for having good things? Oh, right. It's because there is guilt in it. And when you get it, it isn't pleasant. You want to destroy what you've created. You're afraid to make the next step. See? That causes that because you got a sense not to go any further. But the average person who is very willful will make another step, and he got this, and it was fun getting there, because while you were getting there, you were escaping with the truth that was following you. And you were making it, and finally you did. All of a sudden the truth catches up to you, and what you got is it's not useful, it's painful. In other words, you feel dissatisfied, not happy with it. So then you set another goal. Damned if you get it, damned if you don't. And some of you have enough sense to stop. I don't want to be successful. But then if you're not successful, but now you're miserable because you're stuck. Or you need to sit down and restart. Any point in your life, your story begins. Even if you're 80, it's a little bit story left, but it's still a story. And it leads to paradise. See that? Okay.
Why don't you, because I know that he wants to say, why don't you see if there are any last questions real quick?
Any last questions?
Not a question really, but
Our veteran among us speaks.
men don't realize how they
Hey, how do you get a veteran with a bald head?
I worry too much.
The grass doesn't grow in the busy street.
Anyway, men don't realize how they disappoint their kids. Because years ago, I asked my dad, when can I get a bicycle? He says, for your 9th birthday. Well, I was a good 10 months away, and I never said another word about it because I trusted my dad.
Yeah.
And as far as he was concerned, I forgot.
Yeah.
And I was eagerly anticipating it. That day arrived, no bicycle. The disappointment wasn't so much in not getting the bicycle. It was disappointment that I couldn't trust my dad.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, the hell with the bicycle. It's my dad that was important.
That's right.
And he blew it.
And evil always promises what it doesn't deliver, and if it delivers, you're a slave of the deliverer.
Yeah.
I want to share something very important.
All right. Okay. You need that.
My voice,
You
can
need
hear
the
me
microphone.
around the
Otherwise,
block.
you can't say it.
All right. When I went to my father, who was only 21 years older than me, I said to my father, I'm going to get married. He says, yeah. He says, don't you think you're a little bit young? I said, no, you got married when you were 21. I'm 21. I says, and I'm marrying a Jew. Oh, you're marrying a Jew. That's what he said to me. I said, yeah, he's the nicest person I ever knew. I'm going to marry him.
And Emma's still nice?
Still nice. I like you now. I've always loved you, but I actually like you. That's it.
God.
No more. I do. I like you, Roy. You're cute.
That's just reduced me to a louse.
No, he's just like our little great-grandson that says to his mom when he was 5 years old, she was impatient with him. He said, "Mom, you have to go inside and do the hand meditation."
Okay.
That's it. I
Now,
got no
when
more
you
to
go
say.
home, go inside and do the hand meditation.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for coming. By the way, I haven't even get applause here. Well, you might as well all do it. All right. So, see, spiritual things can be fun. It can be enjoyable. It could be nourishment. I have things to eat you know nothing about, right? So now you've had a meal. Other people might not hear it, but if you like this programming, please support it. And we're a non-profit organization. 501c3 is the highest legal status you can have, equivalent to the Catholic Church. But you see, I like the Catholic Church. If I was like to choose a religion, I would choose that. But I don't want you to be it. Jesus came to take you away from religion, to transcend your verses and chapters and your loyalty to people, places, and things. So he was, salvation is from the Jews. The whole idea of the Ten Commandments is because we're not born perfect, we have to have laws. But when you're free, see, I'm not going to commit a law, I'm not going to break a law, because it's not in me. If there was no Ten Commandments, it wouldn't make any difference. I don't need your damn Ten Commandments. You need it. I need it. Yeah. But the point is, the Ten Commandments is not enough, because the more you find new ways around it. So what we need in America is Americans that don't need not the Ten Commandments, but they don't need the Constitution only to keep away very bad people. But now the bad person has got the Constitution and is now offended at your righteousness. So when you give the worst people the control of the commandments, you give like the Pharisees, the Sanhedrin, you give your government to the worst people because of your deterioration, American deterioration all over. So it's only natural, like you said just now, a few moments ago, that when you are broken, you tend to give yourself to the worst person that will rise to make you feel better, like the drug addict with the pusher. He rises to the occasion of your needs. So you've got a government rising to the occasion of your stupid needs and justifying the perversions that you practice all over.
This is what America has become.
Nice knowing you. Send me money. Thank you very much.